So, let's get started. We're going to talk about Chapter 5. We're covering Chapter 5, Beast from Water today. So, they're having this meeting to decide what's what. Ralph is concerned because things are breaking up. And so they go over some housekeeping issues, namely, you hunters better, by God, keep the fire going. This is the most important thing. Quit pooping everywhere and poop at the place that we designate so that when the tide rises, it cleans the place up. Keep bringing water to the coconut shells. So they get all these housekeeping issues out of the way. Then they start talking about the thing that they haven't wanted to talk about. But they've experienced it since the beginning. It's the fear. The fear. We need to talk about the fear. Apparently the little ones are having nightmares, and there's still talk of this snake thing, this beastie thing. Now remember, because of our title, Lord of the Flies, euphemism for Satan, we know that there's a biblical element here. And this constant allusion to snake imagery, even though we haven't actually seen a snake yet, is indicative of the snake that is too present in the Garden of Eden, in mankind in his infancy. So there's that element. But let's take it one layer deeper. Let's look on page 90. It comes to a point. Simon asks for the conch, and he says, maybe there is a beast. Ralph's like, sod you. He says, what I mean is, maybe it's only us. And they're like, screw you, man. You're nuts. You're crazy. Maybe he means it's some sort of ghost. Ralph lifted the conch and peered into the gloom. The lightest thing was the pale touch. Surely the little ones were near. Yes, there was no doubt about it. They were huddled into a tight knot of bodies in the central grass. A flurry of wind made the palms talk. And remember, the sun is going down. The sun is going down, kids. Piggy takes up the conch and says, I don't believe in no ghosts ever. This is stupid. I can't even believe we're having this conversation. You honestly think there's ghosts on the island, that this island's freaking haunted. Jack was too unaccountably angry. Who cares what you believe, fatty? Finally, Ralph says, there's too much talk about ghosts. We ought to have left all this for daylight. Perhaps that's what the beast is, a ghost. What do you want me to say then? I was wrong to call this assembly so late. We'll have a vote on them. On ghosts, I mean. Then go to the shelters because we're all tired. They're going to have a vote on ghosts. Do you believe this? They're about to have a vote on ghosts. I'll say here and now that I don't believe in ghosts. Or I don't think I do, but I don't like the thought of them. Not now that it is in the dark. Well, we were going to decide what's what. He raised the conch for a moment. Very well then, I suppose what's what is whether there are ghosts or not. He thought for a moment, formulating the question. Who thinks there may be ghosts? For a long time there was silence and no apparent movement. Then Ralph peered into the gloom and made out the hands. He spoke flatly. I see. What does that mean? Who believes there are ghosts? And it says he looks into the gloom, made out the hands, and says, I see. What does that mean? Okay, one more time. Ralph says to the assembly, who believes there are ghosts? And remember, it's getting dark. And he peers out into the gloom and makes out the hands. And goes, I see. Everyone. All the little ones have their hands raised. All of them have their hands raised. See, this is the problem. This is Golding taking another pot shot at democracy. Why would you put something like that to a vote? You see, we accept democracy by default as the most equitable system. The problem with accepting democracy by default is that it assumes the intelligence of the voter. What happens when 51% of the people say that, yeah, ghosts are real? Especially in this situation. The other 49% are beholden to whatever laws that the majority, even if it's a narrow majority, choose to pass. So this is another problem that Golding brings up with democracy. It very well may be the best and most equitable system of government, but that doesn't make it foolproof. You have to assume the intelligence of the average voter. You have to assume the ability to think for his or herself with the average voter. Why is this happening? Why all of a sudden are we talking about frigging ghosts? And why are they making the choice to have this conversation at night? Has your perspective ever changed from day to day? Has your perspective on things ever changed from the daylight to nighttime? Man, I'm 30 years old. You ever stayed up just a little bit too late reading creepypastas on the internet? Just a little too late. I am 30 frigging years old. You ever stayed up just a little bit too late watching a YouTube video that you shouldn't be watching at 2 a.m.? Ooh. Well, good for you. Good for you. All right, story time. Let's take you back to 16. Mr. D at 16 years old. You ready for this? All right. I'm living in Jackson, Tennessee. And let me reiterate that I know that demons, werewolves, murdering clowns, alien abductions, and ghosts, witches, and werewolves don't exist. At least don't exist in any substantial way that's going to hurt me. I know this. Okay? You understand this, right? So I'm 16 years old, and I got this buddy back in Jackson. I got this buddy. His name is Tyler. I'm not going to give you his last name because you'll buy a guy to look him up on social media and be like, did this really happen? And he'll get pissed at me. But his name's Tyler. Let me describe Tyler for you. First off, you have to imagine me at 16 years old. Not a lot's changed. I'm still nerdy. I'm still awkward. The only difference now is I'm married, but at 16, I'm really, really wondering how one goes about getting a girlfriend. It doesn't come natural to me. I played Magic the Gathering with the band geeks before school started in the cafeteria. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Got it? All right? Most of my friends are musties. That's how we do. All right? Tyler, though, was obscenely popular. He was obscenely popular. And like, you might know a dude, you might know this guy, you might know the guy who plays a game and plays it around. Tyler, at 16 years old, was a lady slayer. Do you comprehend? He was 16 years old, a little sophomore who didn't even have his driver's license, and he was dating a senior. Mandy was her name, who worked at the tanning bed. She had the little dolphin right there. You know what I'm talking about? The little dolphin right there. She would put the little sticker dolphin before she went to the tanning bed so like she could see what her progress was. Mandy, the cheerleader who worked at the tanning bed. He was dating this girl. For some reason or another, in Miss Sullivan's 10th grade biology class, me and Tyler sat next to each other and like, we hit it off. I can't explain it. He was popular, he had a girlfriend, I was not popular, and played Magic. This is the difference between us. But for some reason, we connected. I don't know why. You ever had that happen? Like, two people from different social classes and social groups, you have like your class friendships. So after about 3 weeks of being with Tyler in Miss Sullivan's 10th grade biology class, we're sitting in the back, we're laughing our asses off about stupid stuff. So one Friday afternoon, we're in Sullivan's class, and the bell rings. He's like, hey man, maybe you come over tonight. And I was like, oh. You know I play Magic, right? He's like, it's cool, man. You want to come over? I don't have a girlfriend. Have you run this by the Popular Kids Council? Have they approved this? He was like, why don't you come over tonight, man? We'll eat pizza rolls and watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's how he talked too, man. And whenever Tyler got in like a difficult situation, he would just shrug and the women would swoon. It was amazing. The beauty of Tyler is that he was so good at acting like he didn't care. He was so good at it. So I'm like, yes, he's accepting me as one of his own. We're going to go over there, and he's going to like teach me how to be popular. Maybe if, as the night goes on and things are going good, maybe he will tell me how to get a girlfriend. Maybe he'll introduce me to one of Mandy's buddies. So I can date a girl who works at the tanning bed and has a dolphin tan line. I'm 16, leave me alone. So we go over there, and all of a sudden the wind is taken out of my sails, because as I go to his house, I suddenly start to realize as I walk into his room and I see the posters and the weird crap that he's into and the stack of comic books, that he's just as weird as I am. This whole like shrugging, cool thing was just an act. You want to be cool, just pretend like you hate your parents and shrug a lot, and like you'll get dates. I don't know. So we start having a great time, man. We're it's a Friday afternoon. He's like, "You want to watch Fear and Loathing?" Yeah, let's go watch Fear and Loathing. He introduces me to his weird older brother that never comes out of his room. You know what I'm talking about? And so we do this, that, and then he's like, "Hey man, you want to go behind my house? There's a creek." And I'm like, "Yes!" So we go behind his house, and there's a creek running through the city. You know how we have Mouse Creek that runs through our city? Jackson had something similar. And so we start like going down there and catching crawfish. And have you ever started doing something ironically and then found yourself actually having fun doing it? That was us. So we start catching crawfish and like in a bucket. And then after we do that for about an hour, he's like, "Dude, let's dam up the river like beavers." And I was like, yes! So we start grabbing stones and like we dammed up the river. It was awesome. For a minute. Then it started to get dark, and he's like, "Dude, my mom will get pissed if we're out here after dark." And I was like, okay, well, let's just go upstream a little bit. So we go upstream a little bit, and we find this tunnel. There's this huge tunnel, okay? And it goes under this overpass. It's like 12 feet in diameter. So I'm like, we have to find out where it goes. And this is in the middle of the city. It's huge tunnel. So we go in there a little bit, and he's like, "Dude, my mom's going to get pissed. We need to get back." And I said, "What if we come back after your parents are asleep?" Whatever. So we go back to his house, and we play video games and watch another Fear and Loathing until about 11:30 at night. When his parents are asleep, we sneak out his second roof window. This is how pathetic I was in high school. Other kids are like sneaking out of their houses to go drink and fornicate. I'm sneaking out of the house to go explore a tunnel. Did I mention I wasn't cool? Still not cool, but wasn't cool. So we get a couple of those dollar store flashlights. You know the ones I'm talking about, the cheap plastic ones that like just have the up and down plastic button. So we get a couple of those flashlights, and it's the middle of summer. So we get in the creek and we go upstream till we find the tunnel. And we go into the tunnel and we start walking. And the water's coming about to our mid ankles, or our mid calves as we're walking through here. And we're just talking and laughing, and we got our flashlights and everything's cool. But then something starts to happen. Did I mention to you that I don't believe in ghosts, demons, witches, werewolves, vampires, psychotic clowns, this other thing? I know that these things don't exist. At least I know that these things cannot hurt me. But children, it was very dark. So we keep walking, and something begins to happen to my body. I can feel the hair on the back of my neck standing up. And me and Tyler's conversation becomes less and less frequent. And then we start asking each other these questions. Are you scared? No, I ain't scared. Ain't scared. We can go back if you want to. I don't want to go back. Do you want to go back? No, I don't want to go back. But if you want to go back, we can go back. You ever had this conversation with yourself? And we keep going. As we go, Tyler trips, falls, and his light goes under. We're walking in ankle-deep water. We can't see where our hands are going, so there was a branch under there or something. He trips, falls, goes under, frantically grabs his light, but it was too late. The light shorted out. We are down to $1 store flashlight. And we've been walking for about a mile underneath this tunnel, deep under the city of Jackson. I'm letting it rain. We're in the middle of something. I'm trying to make a point here.
It might be for me.
What?
It might be for me. But
I'll call him back. So, we're walking along, and we're down to one flashlight, and I am feeling terror. My heart is pounding out of my chest. I can feel it knocking against my rib cage. I know that these things do not exist, that the ghosts, werewolves, demons, vampires, psychotic clowns do not exist and cannot hurt me. But children, it was dark. Finally, Tyler says, this dude who had shrugged and mumbled his way through in his entire life, who had shrugged and mumbled his way into the arms of Mandy and the rest of the popular kids, says to me, "Dude, Deloach, I'm getting a little scared." "What do you mean you're popular? What are you afraid of? You've already invited me into your house." I was very scared too. We round this corner, and I saw it. This thing was 10 feet in diameter, and it had claws stretching out towards us. And when I blocked eyes with it, I swear to you, it had red glowing eyes. Had red glowing eyes. Claws. Gnarled, looking at us. And as I'm looking at this thing, I hear a squeal erupt from Tyler's mouth. "Ah!" And I drop the flashlight. We ran and crawled and climbed over each other for a mile in the other direction in total darkness. Total darkness. We get out of the tunnel. Man, you have no idea how far adrenaline will take you. We come back to his house, we climb into his window, we get in the bed, and just like, didn't speak till the next morning. Next morning, we're sitting down at the breakfast table eating Captain Crunch to the roots of our